What's up, everybody? How's it going tonight? Good to be back here with you guys. Let's get started. Let me change my scene here so we can get into this right now. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to RC with Adam. My name is Adam. We're going to do a little streaming here. Do a little simulation flying on the DRL simulator tonight. I hope everybody's doing really good. As usual, let me know if there's any audio issues. I was having some technical difficulties getting this set up. So that's why we're a little late. I'm late to my own stream. But, hey, Reese, good to see you again, man. The Tactical Nerd. What's up? Robert Thompson from Florida. Hello. And that is it so far. All right. So, oh, man, where do we begin? So how's everybody doing? Is everybody doing good today? You have a good day? I hope you did. I had a pretty good day. It was kind of gray. It was all like gray and cloudy. So I just kind of felt sort of out of it all day. But I'm happy to be here, happy to be healthy with you guys. And we're going to do some DRL simulator racing. Now, about racing, actually, who here wants to get into racing or is into racing? I'd like to know. So let me know in the chat if you are into racing, because I didn't really care that much about drone racing. Like, I was just like, like it's a thing, okay, but they're just going so fast and it's all just I like the I like the smooth, flowy kind of freestyle flying. That's really what I mostly prefer. That's why I got into quadcopter flying. But recently, and a big part is because of this simulator, I have started to really like racing, and I like it because it is a really good way to get better at flying, and it's a really good way to be able to really like calculate, like measure how well you're doing. So instead of just kind of doing a split S any old which way or around all kinds of different objects that are constantly changing, when you're racing, you've got that clock that you're trying to beat your time every time and get faster. So it gives you a really good way of measuring your progress. I mean, and yeah, it is based on speed. So obviously, like, you don't get style points if you're racing, because it's all about the time. Although I have thought that it would be cool to mix like freestyle and racing, where like once you get to like a certain point, you have like 5 seconds to do some kind of like really cool move, and then like if you take longer than 5 seconds, then it's a detriment, but you're gonna have to take 5 seconds from that point. Anyway, just a little thing I was thinking about. And you can play along. I mean, you can get on your simulator if you have one and fly along with me. And it doesn't have to be DRL, because basically we're going to be talking about techniques and things that you can implement just in real life, but then also in a simulator as well. Loftlax says, hi from Turkey. Hello, Turkey. Wow, that's pretty far away. How you doing over there in Turkey? Hope you're doing pretty good. Reese says the audio is great. Thank you. Robert Thompson says you've been out flying. That's good. You gotta stay flying. I'll bet the weather's getting really nice. Well, I guess it's always nice in Florida, but it's probably getting really nice because it's getting springtime. We had like one nice day. I'm in North Carolina. We had like one nice day just a little while ago, and it was amazing. It was like, wow, spring's here and stuff, and then it turned back into winter because you can't tell what it's gonna do nowadays. As usual, I'm gonna be using my FlySky. Let me get this right here. My FlySky i6 hooked up here, and let me see. Let me get what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. I was looking at the wrong screen. My FlySky i6, and we've got the SM100 USB cable hooked up to it. and that's what I'm going to be using today. And I do kind of, I don't know, I kind of like the underdog, you know, I just always have, I don't know why. And I feel like FlySky is the underdog, and so I think it's kind of cool if I can get decently good at racing with a FlySky transmitter, just because a lot of people kind of think like, oh, FlySky, it must be horrible, you know, but it's not. But I mean, it's you could definitely get to the point where you would notice that it's not as nice as other transmitters, but anyway, it's great for beginners. All right, so let's just kick it off. Let's kick it off with let's just get kind of warmed up, and we're gonna and we are flying with the 7-inch DRL Racer 4, so a much larger quadcopter than like a 5-inch quadcopter. Oh, also one more thing, caveat: I have not actually done any like real life racing, and just because of weather and different stuff, I haven't really been able to get out and try out these maneuvers and really tune my quad in real life to how I want, to how this one flies, so that like I'm used to flying it and I'm good with it. But I've been doing a little experimenting. Anyway, all that just to say, I went to the wrong thing. All that just to say, you know, I'm not claiming to be some kind of super duper racer person. All right, so let's go solo race. We will go to originals. We'll go to drone park, and we'll just go to the most recent one. So if you guys watch the streaming, if you watch the stream of the tournament today, this is the track that we flew at. I did fly a little bit, but I actually didn't have a whole lot of time, and I didn't practice at all. So it's a really horrible time. But this is what it is. And so you can see right there, my time is 2 minutes and 1 second. So let's see if we can beat that time and get kind of warmed up, and then we'll maybe we can kind of break down some different stuff, because I've got some various points I want to cover. So yeah, FlySky is definitely the underdog, and it's amazing. It's fantastic. It's not the best, sure, but I think Jumper is jumping in there and taking over as far as the next best, like not for like a budget thing, but I think FlySky is still the best for a budget. Okay. All right. Oh, let me get one more thing. Oh shoot, it showed up. Okay. Let's restart that. I'm gonna restart that. I wanted to make sure that the transmitter showed up for you. Okay. Oh man. So, okay. I'm gonna I'm just not gonna talk. I'm just gonna try and fly right now. All right, so I am going to talk, actually. This is kind of embarrassing, but so it's hard. So what I have right now is I actually have it full screen on the screen in front of me, and this is actually a good point that I was going to cover. I have it full screen on the screen in front of me right now, and I noticed that because this is a pretty large monitor, it's like a 32-inch monitor, and I'm not that far away from it. When it's full screen, it's actually harder for me to see everything at once, like to really, because like I have to move my eyes around a lot. So usually what I do is I have it downsized to like 1080p or 1920 by 1080. And so what that means, what that translates to, is now I understand why racers in their goggles, why they like having like smaller smaller field of view. Like they don't necessarily, or it seems like they don't usually want quite as an immersive experience. Is what seems to be the case, and that always seemed weird to me, because I like flying and having that immersive experience here. So let's just continue on flying here, and I'm gonna sort of intentionally, oh gosh, I'm just gonna have to get used to this, I guess. But like my eyes really are having to move around a lot more. Also, also, it just occurred to me, I hope my computer can handle this. I mean, I have the graphics and stuff turned down quite a bit, but... Oh my gosh. Alright, we're just gonna go for it. I think there is some lag. I guess that's going to be my excuse, is the lag. Oh, don't go that way. No, go there. No. Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh, I gotta go that way, gotta go that way. You know, the funny thing is that once you stop moving forward and going fast, it gets a lot harder to handle, and that is another key point about that. Oh no. Oh, we're back, we're back. Nope, I got stuck again. I think I can get out of this. No, I can't get out of this. And I'm just pressing the R key to basically just like reset the quadcopter. Ooh, man, that was amazing. We're gonna get a record time for that one. I just know it. I just know it. Oh yeah, that was a record time. Wow. Oh. Hey, Wrong Way FPV says hello from Oregon. Super cool. Oregon. It's probably like 6:20 out there, I think. Yeah. Super cool, man. Thanks for being here. And Sprazix1. Hello, welcome back. Build a flying wing. I don't think we're gonna build a flying wing right now. So let me try and figure this out, because this could be problematic. I want this to fill the screen. How am I gonna do that? I don't think I can do that right now, because I'd have to figure that out. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am just going to kind of move this a little bit, and then I'm just gonna kind of back up here, if I can. So just hang on just 1 second, while I take care of some technical things. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to basically, what would that be? I guess it would be decreasing the field of view of the screen. And like I said, that like it helps you like to be able to take everything in, so you're not like, you know, looking at all the screen, having to like move your eyes and stuff. So I think if I just back up a little bit, that should help. Also, let me make sure everything is like working. My computer's getting hot because it's like, there's so much to process. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's get out of here for now. Let's move on to another one. Let's go to a simpler one, because that'll help us kind of focus on the specific stuff. Let's see here. I have notes that I wrote down about. Oh yeah. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of notes. All right, let me get this straight here. So we'll just go through these. I think they'll kind of show up pretty naturally. All right. So to make sure that, and this is actually kind of a good tip in case you guys didn't see the video that I had about the simulator comparisons and stuff. If you go to the graphics settings, like, you can turn down the graphics to get things to kind of work faster, and I guess everything is pretty much set to low. So everything's low. So basically, lowest. Oh my, that makes it very small. Well, I don't want it that small. All right, let's do this. Let's do that, and then we'll take that, and we'll have to make that larger. Yeah. So this, we'll see how this works. We'll try that out. And mostly this is just because I'm trying to stream it as well. So let's go to, where do we want to go to? Let's go to this track, Walk in the Park Sunday session. I think this was let's just go to this one, because this is the one, this was the very first one that I started out on, and it's just really simple. And so we'll be able to kind of focus more on the little details instead of like the crazy DRL tracks and stuff. And one thing is that, like, the smaller tracks with the sharper turns, you really have to be like even more on it, as opposed to a lot of the DRL tracks, like the one that we just did before. They're very spread out, and so you have like a lot of, like, you have a lot more room and generally a lot more kind of smooth lines. Although that one that we just did was kind of twisty, but it was kind of a mix. So, oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. I know I keep forgetting things that I forgot to mention. Camera tilt. Camera tilt is really important. I have it set to 45 degrees. I think that's pretty much standard for racing. And then the field of view is 133. And so you can see if I have 90 degrees field of view, it's very narrow. And then if I pull it all the way out to 40, it's like really, like, I can see a lot, but I get a lot of fisheye. And so those two things are going to change how you fly a lot, because it changes how much you see and all this kind of stuff. So, so the first thing is I'm going to be pitching forward, and I think you guys can see that on the stick there. The pro racers just keep their throttle stick like all the way forward. So anyway, so one thing, I guess the first thing would just be like aiming. You really get better at aiming just by practicing going through the gates, because that's just literally what you have to do the whole time in order to point your quad where you want it to go. Another big thing that I learned, like, generally it's just like reflexes is pretty much what it is. Reflexes and hand-eye coordination is like the biggest thing. But then and muscle memory. But so, like, for example, we go through here, you see the way that these cones on the ground are, they're showing you like the turn. And so if you wait to turn until you go through the gate, then you're pretty much already behind. You see, like, that one, that was a sharper turn. And if I don't turn enough, especially at speed, I'm going to be doing this weird thing where I pitch and then I overcorrect. Or I mean, I pitch down and I overcorrect and I roll too much. So it's, you really have to make sure that you are anticipating the turn and you're actually turning like ahead of time. Like if you watch pretty much like the pros, like the people that are really good at racing, they're turning like way before they go into the gate, because they're getting ready for that turn before they even go in there, and they're cutting everything like super close. So that's kind of the difference. Like with freestyle flying, you kind of fly around and you're just like, whoa, and you just sort of, fly however you want to fly. And a lot of times you try to make things take longer and you make things really smooth, and you're trying to, make loops and things last longer, make split S's last longer. like that, and just doing like this big arc thing. Whereas if you're racing, like, you don't want any of that. And if you had to do a split S over this thing, you'd want to like come up and then just flip around and just bam right back into that thing. And again, this is not as an example of like what a good how to race well necessarily. This is like how to race at all. So again, the split S is super important. And that kind of brings us to another thing, which is maneuvers. So like, aside from just this course right here is just or not straight and level, but it's just flat. It's a flat course, and it is kind of tight and zigzaggy, but we're not doing any split S's, we're not doing any power loops or anything like that. And so it's much simpler. But if you get into something that does have power loops and it has split S's and it has dives, like, those are all things that are fun to do with freestyle flying. But in this case, it's like you have to get good at them and do them in a specific way, and really know how to do them in a specific way in order to actually like complete the move. You know what I'm saying? So that would be a big thing, and especially with this quadcopter, the physics simulation is such that it's much heavier, and so you're gonna have more. You're gonna have to anticipate turns even more and add even more throttle. So if you look at my throttle stick, it goes. Ooh, I was looking at my throttle stick. I should have been flying the quad. And so, but if you look at it like it, when you go into the turns, you want to give it a lot more power in order to keep that to keep the quad in a good line, so that you don't kind of pop out and or just kind of go all over the place like that. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So let's go. Let me think here. We covered a lot of what I was thinking of. Let's go to the main menu, and we will go to it might be kind of fun actually to just go through all of the race courses that have been in the DRL Sim tournament. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Drone Racing League, DRL, this is their simulator that they designed. And so what they do, I guess they just started the past couple of years. What they do, and it's going on right now, is they do an online sim tournament. And so they fly these courses just like we're flying, and they have a bunch of people compete. And there was one just today, and there's going to be another one Thursday, and I think that might be the last one until like the finals. Now I don't expect to actually like progress in the tournament, but it's fun, and they have like prizes and stuff that they give out. But it's fun. It's actually fun watching the live stream and the commenting and stuff, which is just funny because I would not have. Like I said, I would not have thought that it would be fun, but it actually turns out that it is quite fun. And it's really cool because it's actually something that I kind of thought like, well, like I'll never be able to race like that, or like, oh, that just seems too hard. And yet here I am able to at least race the courses like, to the best of my ability. And then I just try and beat my own time. And so that's what's really cool. So you really get a sense of self-improvement, and you can measure that improvement. So that's why I think it's really cool. So is anybody else does anybody else do this or the DRL thing, or have you watched the tournaments like on the stream? I think they stream on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. I think Twitch as well. Somebody's asking, are you replacing the FlySky transmitter? Am I replacing the FlySky transmitter? No, man. I'm gonna have fly sky till I die. Maybe. I just don't really see any reason to change it. It just works. You know, it does what I need it to do, and it just works out. And I really like being almost, or not the only, but like one of the main people that actually makes videos and helpful stuff about fly sky, because I think it's really underrated or undervalued, and so I like that. And so I kind of want to stay in the fly sky zone a little bit. Excuse me 1 second. I am going to just grab a bottle of water because my voice is not working anymore. 1 second. I'm going to be right back. And I'm back. Captain John, yes, you did make it to the stream. Welcome. You are now in the stream. We're all in the stream. Let me see here. Oh, the music stopped. Can you guys hear that music? I can't tell how loud it is. It's from the game. I mean, you can't hear it right now because I clicked away from it and stuff. But yeah. Let's see here. All right, let me get this working right there, and then we are going to continue. Yeah, so let's just start out. Tryouts week 1. So this was the very first one that I did, and I was like, whoa, mind blown. And if it is what I think it is, if I recall it, then it starts out with this big power loop. Yeah, so I would say like a really big thing about racing, and as you may have seen, just hearing from like racers and stuff, is that your rates are generally going to be lower, like a lot lower for racing than for freestyle, because for freestyle you want to do flips and rolls and fun stuff like that, whereas with racing you really want to keep it smooth, and basically the less movement the better, like as Gab 707 says, like the less flippy floppies the better. So that's just kind of how that tends to be. And so the rates, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I forgot to share with you my rates for this, so we will do that right now, right before we start this. So what I have here, the way I have this set up, like I said, I mean, if you have the DRL simulator, this will, you know, be apply to you exactly. So this is what I have. This is what I'm using right now. For me it's custom setting 3, but the pitch RC rate is 1.1, pitch super rate 0.05, pitch expo 0.35, roll RC rate 1.35, roll super rate 0.1, roll expo 0.3, yaw RC rate 0.8, 0 super rate, yaw expo 0.1, and then throttle mid is 1 and throttle expo is 0.5. And so what that does right there, just in case you don't know, when you change this curve right here, what you're doing, you see the green line here on the bottom quadrant there on the screen, that is the throttle. And so that basically tells us that when we're at mid throttle, we're going to be, when our stick is in the when our stick is in the middle position, like the halfway up position, our throttle percentage value is actually, or we could say our thrust is going to be actually much higher, or a bit higher than than mid throttle. And the reason why I have it like this is just because I feel like it helps me get up to like a comfortable level on the throttle. Actually, what it does is it sort of makes this quadcopter setup mimic how my quadcopter in real life flies, with how much throttle I usually give it. I think it's been a little bit since I like went back and forth and actually kind of compared. But that's how I have it set up. Again, with the 7-inch DRL Razor 4, 45-degree camera tilt and 133-degree field of view. And here we go. Yeah. So this one starts out. So this one starts out right here with a big old power loop. Let's just restart this. And oh my goodness. So I do realize I did change the rates a little bit. So look at this power loop. So you see, you got to be able to. I actually missed that gate. You have to be able to do this power loop like as part of the race. And so if you're good at power looping, for fun, for freestyle, then that's like actually a skill that you can bring over to this as well. I think I realized my rates are actually maybe a bit too much on the super rates potentially. And so we come through here, we do this, and then we go down here through this dive, and we're diving. And see, like the natural thing for me is to like you take out the throttle when you dive, because it's like you don't want to like be going down super fast, but actually you do, because you're racing, and so you want to be having that speed. Here's a split S right there. Let's do that again. Let's come back up here. Okay, come down here, boom, split S. But see, you want to be like pulling yourself around the S, basically. As opposed to like if you're doing this freestyle, you might be like whoosh, and then lining up and coming in there and boom, and then maybe do like a power loop around that, and then crash. But when you're racing, you're coming in here, boom, whoosh. Not even like that, because that wasn't very good, but yeah, I think you get the idea. You're trying to come in close, and basically, well, if you're good, you're gonna have the power on like the whole way. And here's what's funny is I was just following this line like a good person, like I thought I was supposed to, but actually the racers, the good ones, like all the top people, they were cutting through this little block, right? I can't even get it because it's slow. I mean, because I'm going slow here. They were just boom cutting through that, which is pretty crazy. Oh man. So then here's another situation where you want to anticipate the movement. So you come through here, but then you gotta like go through all of those. And so if you wait until you're out of the gate to do the movement, or like through the gate, those are called gates, those squares, then you're basically late already. And then what these guys were doing is they would be coming up here, and they would just like actually what would they do? They would start, obviously start down here, and then they would just come up here, ascend, and then they would go through this thing like sideways, like something like that. I haven't even tried this before, but they would go through it like sideways, and then blast out of here, and then go straight into the finish box right there. And so that's another point. That's another really good point, is is to get used to doing stuff in a non-standard way, basically. So like instead of trying to like, for example, instead of trying to level off every time you go through a gate, or through a checkpoint or something, it's like you go through it sideways, or whatever way works works the best, or whatever, you know, sort of makes the most sense. And then, like, for example, here, this like spiral, you know, I would be like normally I would like take on basically the outside of the spiral and try and give myself like a lot of room. But then, you know, these guys are like, boom, coming in here, like basically doing like an orbit, but it's an orbit, but just like a downward orbit. So it turns into like a kind of a spiral. And that was kind of messy. Ugh. Yeah, something like that. By the way, this is just black right there because normally it's water, but I have the graphics set to really low. So anyway, this was the very first track, and it's pretty fun. I mean, it is actually. I mean, looking back, it's actually pretty simple, but it was kind of it is kind of difficult, you know, with that power loop right out of the bat. So that's some of the stuff that I noticed. Let's check out another one here. I always do that. Let's go back to the main menu. So I see you guys in the chat talking about the COVID-19 stuff. Have you guys seen the like all the 3D printed stuff going on? I think it's like pretty much main news, but there's like a lot of 3D printed designs now for, you know, the respirator things and different things like that, masks and stuff. I think that's some pretty cool stuff. I thought it was really crazy that they have the 3D printed, or I mean the filament that has like copper something in it, and it's like actually like antimicrobial. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't even know that existed. So very interesting. Yeah, it's crazy times we live in, man. Very historical. I'll tell you what, but 3D printing is awesome. Super cool. How's my budget basher? It's good. It is good. It's about as good as the day I built it. I mean, it pretty much, it really is. Well, I mean, yeah, I swapped out that motor that I was having issues with, and then it's been great. But I want to get into smaller quads, I think. But I also would like to build something. I kind of want to build a Cinewoop. I don't know. At the same time, I kind of want to build something like sort of like a 5-inch, but like lighter weight and not quite as heavy as that one. Which one should we go to? There was one really good one. Was it the previous week? Week 5? Week 2? I kind of wish I could see a example of that. Mm, 138. Maybe it was week 5. I think it was week 5. Yeah, well, can I beat that time? Week 4. Huh, I don't remember. All right, let's do just the previous week track. This one was hard, but it actually turned out to be really fun, and I felt like I really improved a lot because of it. And you can definitely see what I'm talking about the anticipating turns and stuff. Reese says $99 build. You want me to do a $99 build? I might do it. I mean, for the, you know, the stuff is getting so cheap. It's almost like you may as well just buy a kit. Or possibly, I mean, I like building. I think building is worthwhile just anyway. And you can kind of do it for cheaper. But yeah, I do need to do a build video. I should do some more build stuff, quadcopter builds. I really want to get into the toothpick stuff. So I think if we could do like a sub $100 toothpick setup, that could be pretty cool for sure. Captain John asks, what would you say the first ever FPV quad be? So you usually do airplanes, and you want to try the ready to fly stuff, but it seems more toy grade. So you're asking like what would be a good quadcopter like for a beginner? Well, if you want to get into FPV, I would seriously look at the first thing is they're coming out with new quadcopters like all the time. And so you could potentially get a slightly older model for like a little bit less if you wanted to. But anyway, I would check out the Emax Tiny Hawk series. I have the Tiny Hawk S. That thing has been great. Now there's the Tiny Hawk 2, I think, and then the 2 Racer version. So check those ones out. Good stuff. I think pretty much Emax is pretty solid. So if you buy something from Emax, that would be pretty good. But especially the Tiny Hawk is really great. It's a lot of fun, and it's small. And if you get one with the prop guards, it's just like indestructible. Pretty much indestructible. So yeah, that is what I would say. Yes. All right, let's do this. Oh my gosh. I don't know why this feels so weird right now. Like, I don't know if it's the screen that I'm looking at or what's going on here. So one thing to just, because I know maybe this is annoying because like I keep stopping and stuff, but this is a learning session. Is what we're doing right now. So one of the things a big thing I learned about on this one is not doing really big movements, and also at the same time counteracting those movements very quickly. And again, all this stuff is very important in racing, but it will help you no matter what kind of flying that you're doing. So like coming through here, I want to get through that, but then I want to quickly, and especially if I'm going fast, I want to quickly turn back around to go up here, and then I don't want to go through, because I need to basically do like almost like a little miniature backwards side power loop, like through here, like that, kinda ish. And if I end up going through here, through this first gate, too much, and then I wait, well, I'm gonna overshoot, and then that happens. The other thing, since we're talking about maneuvers, because then it's not quite a split S, but it's kind of a split S. But if we're doing a split S, a big thing is that if you do a split S, sorry. So let's talk about split S's for a second. So split S is when you have basically an object, and usually you're trying to go through a gate or something, and you come around and over it like that. So you go over it, you do a turn, and then you go through it like so. And if you do a split S and you turn too fast and you pitch, if you pitch up too fast, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna go through here, and you're trying to, you're trying to get, it's all about timing. And you come through here, if I pitch up too fast, I'm just the quadcopter's flat, and then I have to like press forward on the stick again in order to go forward. And that, you don't really want that. And so you want to go forward, roll, but then you want to bring in your throttle. And so you're basically, you're sort of pushing yourself through the split S instead of like making all the movements separate. You want to basically combine all the movements to get them to work together. So we're basically combining a roll and then a pitch and then forward or increasing the throttle is basically what we're doing. But the way that we're doing it, the timing is such that it's sort of a, well, that was not quite clean, but is such that it's much more smooth, like that. And it just takes practice doing that. But as you can see, like in the racing stuff, it is a move that you will have to do a lot. But in the freestyle world, you can, it's really a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun with it, and you can kind of play around with it and mix it up and make it like make it more exaggerated, make it take longer. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. And then close to that would be a power loop, which is kind of what I had to do in this little section here, except it was kind of more of a sideways thing, but power loop. And so we're basically combining a pitch movement and the actual throttle. So that's where the power comes in from the power loop. Because a power loop is like doing a really slow backflip, you know? So if I'm sitting here and I'm hovering, I'm actually not hovering because I'm still moving forward. All right. But if I just go up and I just do a backflip, that's just a backflip. But if I do a slow backflip like this, yeah, I'm gonna hit that, of course. So if I do a slow backflip, all right, and that's without any power. But then if I add that power, and I'm like, okay, so let's say I'm up here and I do a slow backflip, but I bring the power back in. You see, we get a circle, we get like a loop. And you can adjust the tightness of the loop by changing the pitch, as well as the power to some extent. Anyway, so that's a power loop, and so that again is kind of one of the things that we're doing right here. And so we have to kind of go through here, boom, boom, and then come back around here as a power loop. I know that's super messy. And the other thing, like I was saying about be willing to basically to fly at weird angles and not do things like you normally would if you were doing like freestyle or something. Case in point, this first gate right here. So it's like a sideways gate, right? Like you're coming at it from the wrong way, because usually you fly straight through a gate. So what do? Well, should you do like a big turn right here and then fly through it straight? Well, that might be like the safest thing to do, but then if you do that, you're gonna overshoot and be way out here and then go through this gate and then, oh, look, and then see, now we have to go back through here. And obviously, I mean, if you're just getting started, I mean, this is pretty fantastic. If you're just so don't feel bad if you're not doing it super fast right away. And then this gate right here, here's another one. See, so it's like you think, oh, I got to do really wide. Oh no, these flags are here. What's going on? And then here, this is coming down into here. It's pretty much like a split S, except it's just we're going down and we're not going like, instead of the gate being, is the audio weird? It sounds weird to me. Maybe it's just my headphones, I don't know. Anyway, so this right here is basically a split S. So you really have like pretty much the basic maneuvers and you're combining all of them. And then we go through here. And then here we're going to do basically another power loop, sort of. So we're going to come up here. I got kind of a little upside down a bit too much, but then we come through here. And then sort of a split S where we're coming down and we want to catch ourselves. We blast on through here. We're going to do a turn through here, and I bump that wall, and I don't like that. And then we come through here, and then, oh no, through that, boom. Coming through here, and then we pitch up. We do this thing. We do a power loop. See, and then the tighter you can do that, the better. Flying through here. Now this part still kind of gets me. So it's like you got to be able to fly like kind of sideways, that was an example right there of being able to, you know, flying kind of weird sideways like that. And then through here. See, and then it's just like I pitch that way, and like I said, maybe I'm doing a terrible job, and you know, and I'm really, I mean, it is sloppy. It's really sloppy, but for me personally, I feel like I'm doing pretty good, and that's what's important. Is that, I mean, obviously, if you're racing to win, you need to win, but I'm saying in terms of improving, the important thing is that you're getting better than you were yesterday. So we come through here, like that. There we go. See, it's hard to do that one clean. But yeah, that would be an example of like you need to fly like sideways, and you got to be okay with not being able to see stuff, I guess. That right there, let's go back to that. That would be an example, a good example of anticipating your turns and knowing that you have a lot more mass, so you need to correct. So like I'm already turning before I even go through the gate, just like that. And so, yeah, I like this track because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you can learn just from that. So it's pretty cool. I'm checking out the chat. And somebody asked, am I racing Acro or angle mode? Acro. Absolutely Acro 110%. Yeah, angle mode. Yeah, angle mode, like auto level mode. You can't do this kind of racing in angle mode. I would say you kind of can't race in angle mode, but you certainly can't do flips and rolls and that sort of thing in angle mode. And that is, yeah, that's one of the biggest things. And as far as air mode, because it seems like there's a lot of confusion with air mode and acro mode. I'm not sure if they designed this thing such that it would replicate air mode being on. Air mode is just is just like an extra feature in addition to acro mode. So acro allows you to do flips and rolls, and your quadcopter won't self-level like it will in angle mode. But in acro mode, you can do flips and rolls. But then with air mode, it's going to be like a little extra feature. It's like a little, it's like a little extra boost. And what I mean by that actually is that it will, it kind of, I don't have a very good technical answer right now, but it will basically give your quadcopter an extra locked in kind of feel is pretty much why people like air mode. And I hope that answers your question. Let's see. So, Captain John says he looked it up. It's 165 before tax, has drone goggles and controls just what I needed. And it says indoor racing drone. Could I still fly it outside in nice conditions? Captain John, are you talking about which one exactly? Is that the Tiny Tiny Hawk S? Is that the one you're talking about? Because yeah, that is a good one. And that does sound pretty good. I think Stu from UAV Futures did a review on, or no, wait a minute. I think he did a review video. In fact, several people did a review video on the Tiny Hawk, the Emax Tiny Hawk kit, the ready to fly kit with the goggles and the transmitter and everything. but I don't think Emax has that for the S. I could be wrong, but the last time I checked, they did not have the whole package for the S. So I think the S. I think it'd be worth getting the S over the original one. I think, even if you have to buy stuff separately. Well, it depends. Like if you're already into RC stuff and you have a transmitter, then yeah, maybe just buy the S or some other one, not as like a complete ready to fly package. But if you're brand new to it and you're like you're not super confident in like your technical knowledge with all the different RC stuff, then yeah, you probably should get the whole ready to fly package. That would probably be the best thing in order to actually just get you in the air and flying and having a good time. Captain John says the power loop is the most satisfying thing he's ever seen. Yeah, the power loop is pretty fantastic if you can, like, once you get it right, like once you get the right combo between the pitch and the power, it's pretty nice. I need to do it more in real life and actually with my quadcopter to really get it down, because it can be kind of tricky, especially the way that your rates are, because it takes more power than pitch is what I've found, and it's tricky to kind of get that balance. Wait. Haha. I'm reading the comments. I just like saying that for anybody who's watching. And if there aren't comments on the side of the video, if you're watching this on the replay, sorry about that. I'm not sure why that is, but it seems like some of those aren't showing up. Reese asks, what's the fastest speed you have ever got with an FPV drone? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really ever measured the speed, but I will tell you what, recently I was playing around with having a really high camera tilt. I mean, like 45 degrees as I do in the simulator, but in real life. And it got pretty fast. I mean, it's pretty much too fast for the backyard. I need to go someplace where I can really open up, because I really haven't gotten a chance to. Like, usually what I'll use all that power for is just little pop-ups, little spurts of power, instead of like really forward flight racing speed type of setup. So that's pretty exciting, and that's what playing the simulator has given me the confidence to do, to be able to actually like have my reflexes and just like my whole mentality of flying fast and having a lot of camera tilt and that whole sort of thing, like for racing. So this has really helped. But yeah, I'm not sure how fast. I would guess, I don't know, 70, 80. I don't really know. It'd be fun to test that out sometime. Adam, can you make a video how to practice changing your rates? Yes, I can. Yes, actually, I definitely want to do that, because that is a big thing that can be tricky, and it took me a while to kind of figure out the whole rates thing as well. And Captain John, so you're saying that it is the Emax Tiny Hawk, just the straight up Tiny Hawk. Yeah. Okay, Reese is getting into FPV with Wizard X220. Oh, a wise choice. Yeah, the good old Wizard X220, man. I still I still have that. I still have the frame and all that stuff. I did have to swap out the motors. It does seem like the motors are the first thing to go, which makes sense because that's like the only moving part on the quadcopter. So I kind of feel like investing in good motors, or at least getting not the cheapest motors, is probably really, really important because, you know, if you think about it, that's the only moving part, and it's on the end of the quadcopter where it's likely to get, you know, bashed into a rock or something. Rotor Riot does have those, what do they call them? The motors, I can't remember the name of the motors, but Rotor Riot has some motors that they have like a replacement program for. And they're pretty expensive motors. I think they're like $25 a piece or somewhere around that range. But I guess their thing is like if you break it for whatever reason, they will replace it for you. So that could be kind of cool. I know there's another answer to a question that no one asked, but those are the best kind. Somebody said, Sprazix. How do you pronounce your name? Because I'm having trouble saying it. Sprazzy? It's Sprazzy now. Sprazzy says, no, don't buy the Wizard. Buy the Tyro 99. It's more legit. Is it more legit, though? I don't know. I should probably buy the Tyro 99 and do a build video on it, just like everybody else has done, because I do want to see if it's very good. The thing about the Tyro 99, if I recall correctly, it's really a racing type of deal. I think if yeah, like the Wizard X220 is more of a freestyle, like probably easier to mount a GoPro and stuff, I think. Whereas the Tyro 99 is more like just racing. It's more like very bare bones, and I think maybe kind of a tight build. If you're talking about building it, right? I don't know if that's even available as a kit. So anyway, let's keep going. Let's fly some more. That was enough talking for now. So let's let me give this one more shot, and yeah, I don't know. My hopes are not very high because you know, I just things are kind of weird right now, the way that I'm flying, and you know, excuses, etc., etc. Plus, I have an audience, and normally I don't have an audience, so you know that's probably going to throw me off. But that's okay. I like the pressure. No. Okay. All right, a little fumble. Okay, a lot of fumbles going on. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Things are just going down the drain. intense. Very intense, man. Ugh, like when you see the thing that makes it so intense is that was a that was pretty bad. But the I mean for compared to the best time that I have on this, but because like the better you do, then every second after that, the worse it will be if you mess up. That's what makes it so intense, because like the closer you are to finishing, the more you have to lose, which is just wow. Oh man, it's good stuff. Wow. I'll tell you what, another fun fact about doing this is that this has really, I think it was just because of the DRL simulator. I'm kind of a pincher now. I'm like a hybrid pincher. Where's the camera? There we go. So now I'm kind of like, using my thumb, but supported by my index finger. Whereas before I would just use a thumb, and just kind of slap the sticks around. But this is interesting, because what I realized is when I would, I'd play this on the simulator, but then when I'd go out and fly my budget basher, pardon me, I would end up just kind of automatically using my thumbs. And also it's a different feel, it's a different quadcopter, different rates and that sort of stuff. But I would just use my thumbs normally. And then it occurred to me that it's because when I'm playing this, again, different quadcopter, etc., but I'm sitting down. Whereas when I go outside, usually I'm just standing there and I don't have a neck strap for my radio. And so I find that I would just naturally use my thumbs instead of sort of the pinching hybrid pinch type of setup. But I found that the hybrid pinch type of setup, it kind of won me over. It kind of, are you guys pinchers or thumbers? Because I'm kind of like in the hybrid pinch thumb kind of deal. I'm definitely not full pinching. That's weird, where you just actually pinch the stick and you don't put your thumb on top of it. But it's just a really interesting thing that I started doing because of this simulator. So that was pretty cool. Let's go. Captain John's not a pincher. You're a thumber. See, I was always like, oh, thumbs. Ooh, I was always like, yeah, pinching. That's so weird. And why would you want to do that? But I think because my style generally, unless it's like racing or something, it's kind of just flopping around all over the place. But not crazy like Mr. Steele. Like I can't really watch Mr. Steele's videos because they're just too ridiculous. They're just too fast. And so I don't mean necessarily like that, but just in the sense of like more kind of loose. Just kind of loose. Flying around kind of like that. And just freestyle stuff. So I feel like sort of pinching or hybrid pinch is better for for more precision, I think. But I don't know. I haven't tried it on airplanes, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. But I'll give it a try. Let's go to week 6. This is the most recent one right here. You can see my time is a 2:01. I wish it was under 2. This is a pretty crazy track, guys. This is what we were flying today. Or I guess this is what we flew at first when we first started streaming here. So let's see if we can beat my own time and implement everything that we've learned so far. And I think we've covered most of the things I want to cover. Yeah, lower rates. Get used to flying at a weird angle. You want to smooth out your turns. 45-degree tilt. You kind of want to anticipate the turns and your next move. So you don't want to just do one move. You want to do one move and then get set up for the next move. And this is what I was going to say in the previous one. You want to avoid overcorrecting, and that could be, like turning too much. Then you're like, oh no, I turned too much, and then you correct, but you correct too much, and that would be the overcorrecting. Which would be especially bad. And then your reflexes are really more important than your rates. I mean, your rates do matter. Like you need to be able to turn fast enough, but even if your rates are good enough, you might not be. And so you want to be able to, I think you should be sort of better than your rates. So if you're just getting started, like Captain John, if you're just getting into flying, or Reese, I'm not sure how good you are at flying yet, but if you're just getting into it, I would say get really low rates, like very very slow, like maybe around 400 or lower degrees per second, maybe like 306, like so 360 or so, like so slow that you really can't even do like flips and rolls yet. Like you want to get good at just flying around, normally level. And the reason why you want those really low rates is because that will keep you from basically just getting into this awful cycle of overcorrecting this way, overcorrecting that way, and then you crash and you go, what happened? I don't even know what happened, because you're just overcorrecting one way or another. And so have really low rates, and then you can bump up those rates as you get better. So that's kind of my theory there, is like you want to be able to outfly your rates. You don't want your rates to be able to outfly you. Raymond, hey Raymond, how's it going? Good to hear from you again. You're a hybrid guy, all right? Hybrid pincher. And what happened? There we go. Reese says trying Acro not very good. I would start with really low rates. None of us were good when we first started, especially with Acro. So just keep that in mind. I will definitely we're going to do more tutorial type videos about flying. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Well, probably on the simulator a lot, because it's just so much easier than trying to fly in real life and then crashing, and then just it takes longer. So, but we'll do both. Let's get started on this one. I'm going to actually try to sort of give this my best shot here. I'll do what I can, but we just got to beat that time. If we can get better than my old time, then it will be a good time. Oh, that one keeps giving me trouble. Okay, so through the split S. Here's a split S like I was talking about. All right, we're gonna turn this into an educational round. Here we've got kind of a split S, like a dive. You really didn't need to do that little spin right there. That was just for extra flair. And then we come into here again, another split S, another turn type of deal, sharp turny thingy. Here we have like basically just a turn, but kind of like a spiral turn thing. Another split S. And then more sharp turns here. Again, it's like as soon as you turn one way, you turn the other way. Coming through here, back down, back up. Almost basically like a power loop. And I'm having trouble with that. So this is, you guys are going to get a real first-hand perspective of how to go from bad to good, I guess, or hopefully good, on this track. Down through this thing. It's tricky because it's like a dive, but it's a shallow dive. And okay, that was low. Wow. Here we go. So really throttle management is really important there. Being able to catch yourself. So I was having trouble with this last time. See, cutting it tighter helps a lot. A little too tight there. I cut that one a little too tight. And then coming through here. This is like a dive, but notice, I just want to point out here, for this specific, let's just restart this there. Okay, so specifically for this, notice how the red line kind of shows you, actually it shows you going up there. Never mind, I take that back. Basically what I was going to say there is I would tend to dive down and then come back up, but really you don't need to be diving down at all. You just want to dive down just enough to get through that. And then this one's a little tricky too. Just because you got to like try and, oh man. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. All right. Well, we're going to restart the whole thing. Oh, shoot. Got that one last one to go. Oh. Oh, man. Whoa. Oh, wow. That was a lot better. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that was a lot better than the last one, I felt like. I mean, than the last time. Oh, goodness gracious me. So, I'm telling you guys, that's the other thing I like about it. It's a rush, man. It's like, woo, it's a rush. Oh, and like I said, I haven't even done any flying in real life, but it's just enough of a rush with this, and I can't even imagine with a quadcopter that could actually get like smashed to pieces. That would be intense, and then plus like not even having quite as good of visuals. So I'm pretty happy with that, though. Not super happy about being number 346. I'd like to be a little bit higher, but all right. Should we try that again? Let's try that again. Let me see what you guys are saying. I wasn't paying attention. Oh man. Oh, Reese says he hit his air conditioner. I hope it didn't go in the blades there. That would be bad. Oh man. Aiden FPV. Hello. What radio am I using for the sim? I am using the FlySky FSI6. The i6. This is kind of my sim radio. My radio I use for most real flying is the i6X, and that just because that just kind of is how it worked out. Because I have all the controls and receivers set up on the i6X, so that's what I'm using. All right, Captain John is heading out. See you later, Captain John. We're gonna wrap up here in just a little bit anyway. Raymond says, "Good job, man." Thank you, Raymond. I appreciate that. And that is kind of, and that's what's so cool is like, you can actually practice it in practice very specific moves. Because that's the other thing is learning the course. Like if I haven't learned the course, it's going to take me at least twice as long, or 3 times as long to actually complete the course. And so just having, one is learning the course and getting that muscle memory of like, okay, I know what's coming up and I got to get ready, get ready for it. But then also just practice. And whether it's a race or it's a, freestyle move or something, you get better at it. And then you're like, wow, I can actually do something that I, didn't think that I would be able to do, which is just super cool. That's just one of the big, that's one of the big reasons why I love this so much, why I love the whole flying thing. Because you can just do stuff that you would not have thought that you could do. All right. All right, let's give this another shot. I kind of have to beat my time now, otherwise I won't be happy. So we'll give this a try here. Oh no, oh no. That's not good. The thing is, it's like once you get, yeah, I don't think this is gonna happen. But once you get a good time, and then you just like figure out and you start shaving off little parts, and I'm getting sloppy now, so this isn't gonna work. But you start figuring out where you can save time, little itty bits of time, and a lot of those for me is usually like on the straightaways, and so it's just full throttle on the straightaways, and I'm just not good enough to where I can have like a full throttle the whole way, because those pro level guys, they're just holding down that throttle. Now on a course like this, maybe not as much because it's so twisty. But yeah, definitely holding down the throttle on the straightaways for sure. I'm just gonna keep going here. Oh, we're gonna restart that one. Shot that one there. Oh no! We might be able to save it, but probably not. Where am I? Oh. Alright, this is going to be a practice run then. Because sometimes what ends up happening is like I do basically just like this, and I make one mistake, I make two mistakes, and you get to a point where you're like, okay, I can't really make up for that lost time. So that's kind of a good thing, because then in a way, or maybe once you... maybe you're not quite at that point where you're sure you're not going to make it. But what that causes you to do is you just fly like if you don't fly as crazy as you've ever flown, then you're going to lose. And that's good, because it's basically like, well, I've got nothing left to lose. Like if I mess up at all, then I'm going to definitely get a bad time. See, another thing that's probably important to point out, I think I sort of pointed this out, is once you get out of that flow and you're not moving forward, it's really hard to control the quadcopter. And it's also true, you know, in real life. And I mean, in this case, it's because of the camera tilt. So you have that really high angle of camera tilt, and so the quadcopter just becomes very kind of unstable, and then the camera's pitched up, so you have to be like looking up, so you really can't even like see what's in front of you. So it's hard to tell like if you're hovering or what your speed is. So that's why it's like I was saying, it's basically like if you just find yourself and you're just bumping around, and it's like you may as well just restart, because it can be so hard to try and get back into the basically the flow. And if you're overcorrecting, kind of like I did right there, again, it's like it's bad, because if you're overcorrecting and you're doing that, then that means you just didn't set things up right. Like you didn't anticipate stuff properly. And so specifically in this situation, this is kind of tricky, but see, like I should be turning much closer. I think that's part of the problem here, and that's where I could get a lot faster. Is because see, I end up doing that, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? And then here we can, you know, that works pretty good. And then coming through here, bump that. That's not so great. Not so great. Let's restart. Let me get another drink here because that's intense. All right, Raymond's heading out. See you, Raymond. Thanks for stopping by. All right, here we go. Here we go. Was that as fast? What was the last time? That was really close. If I hadn't bumped that stuff, it probably would have been. Probably would have been good. So we're gonna try that again. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. Reese is asking, when is my next YouTube video? It's going to be Thursday, if not sooner. What's today? Today's Tuesday, so Thursday, if not sooner. And how do I make a screenshot vid and put my face in it? I am using OBS, open source broadcasting software, or open broadcasting software. Yeah, like that. That's what it's called, OBS. And if that's what you're asking about, unless you're talking about the thumbnails, in which case I use Adobe Spark to make those thumbnails, or I call them Spark nails. Aiden FPV says, I'm having trouble getting my FLI 14 Plus to work with my Mamba F405 Mark II. Do you know what might be wrong? Aiden, are you following my build video? And did you set it up like that and it's still not working? Is that the situation? Because if it is, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that one. But otherwise, check out that build video where the Budget Basher build video. And it should work just as I showed in that, as far as connecting it and then setting things up on Betaflight. Yeah, I think that should be the case. All right, let's give this another shot here, because I'm not gonna stop until I beat that time. So hopefully that happens soon. I'm just now getting warmed up, you know? Takes a while. It takes a while to get warmed up. we're gonna restart that. Whoa. Okay. Oh, this is not good. Losing my flow. Oh no. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, that was so bad compared to how it was before. So, okay. So clearly, one of the big things that trips me up is that dive thing right there. So what I should probably do is just go back to that thing and just practice diving, because coming in from kind of a side angle, that's the tricky part. Because see, in the freestyle world, you would just like be like, oh, I'm gonna dive this thing, okay, let me go up like a mile above it and get lined up and then just right into that thing. But because you just you don't have the time to do that, because you gotta go fast, you gotta go super fast. Oh wow. Sprazzy, welcome back. Aiden FPV says, no, it's my own build, but I set everything up normally. All right. If you can, send me an email or possibly Skype. If you have Skype, you can Skype me. But let me know the details of your situation, and if you can, provide clear pictures of how you have things wired up, and I will help you as best I can. And I think somebody's asking me, what do I use for the transmitter? I am using the FlySky FSI. Oh, here to answer. Okay, very super cool. All right, well, there we go. Let's continue. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm not ready. Okay. Nope. I lost it. You see, it's like that's very difficult. Clearly, I'm not a pro racer, because like I guess they could just shake that off. But it's like you do something stupid at first. You do some silly thing and you hit something, and you're just like, and then you just find yourself just doing that more and more. Let me hang on. Let me get in my power stance here. Okay. That's also something that's giving me a lot of trouble. And that one, apparently. Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh no. 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 This is not good. This is alright, we're past that time. So now what we're gonna do, ooh, that was a good one though, I can breathe again. So now what we're gonna do is we're basically just gonna practice diving, because it occurred to me, I realized, okay, I gotta point down. There we go. That's what I gotta do. I just need to point down. I need to aim down. Just like that. See, look. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. That's, wow. That's, I realized that. You know, it'd be cool is if you had to go up that thing. Look at that. That would be crazy. Oh, because it's tricky because you gotta, basically at some point, you're gonna have to do something where you can't see. Like you just can't see it. So here we go. We come up here and then we're just kind of, oh. See, we had too much, like a little bit too much angle or something on there. And so, let's see. So we come up through here, right? We come up through here. You basically do just power, and then come up through here, and then aiming. Come on. I gotta aim. Try and get this thing working here. And then so we come up through here. Where am I? There we go. And then we come through here, and then we're gonna wanna, I'm not sure if we're gonna wanna do a little flippy flip, or like kind of like this. But then that seems to kind of throw me off, and I'm kind of going all over the place there. Sort of. Maybe I can like just ease. No, man, I don't know what's going on. It's like very difficult for me to do that like that. Maybe I need to come up more over the top. I mean, it's going to take a few more seconds, or a second maybe, but if that will keep me from, yeah, kind of more like that. Yeah, there we go. If it'll keep me from getting stuck in that thing, which is costing me several seconds, then that'll be a good situation. So we come up like that, kind of, and then oh, see, all right, I'm gonna try this one more time, and then we're gonna do it for realsies. Okay, so we're coming up here, aiming, boom. Okay, well, a little bit low there, but woo-ah! All right, I think that should do. Oh. Okay. Oh man. All right. Aiden FPV, my email is rcwithadam@gmail.com. And that is also for my Skype as well, if you need to get a hold of me. Sprouzy says, how did you get to 5.6 thousand subscribers? Time and effort is how I did that. I guess some luck as well too. By the way, thank you. If in case people are watching that are recently subscribed, thank you for subscribing. Love having you on board. That's super duper cool. And yeah, just making a lot of videos, and perseverance, and also if you find videos that people tend to watch more. So fly sky videos are pretty popular, and not many people make fly sky videos, but I make fly sky videos, and so a lot of people tend to. I mean, then they find my channel that way, and so that seems to be kind of how it works out. But yeah, basically time and effort. Okay. All right. Here we go. Now at this point, it's kind of one of these things where like if it doesn't work out well at first, I'm just gonna have to restart because I just it's not worth it to just continue. Woo! Oh man. Wow, that was pretty intense. Woo! Oh. Boom. Yay. Oh man, I made it to under 300. Oh, I'm very happy about that. That makes me so happy. Oh wow. That was great. Man, I'm glad I got to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed that as well. Oh, man, my heart is it's just a pounding right now, 130. So that is actually, so you can see like with a little bit of like specific practice of like, okay, I'm having trouble with this specific thing. Let's get better at it. I was able to, and of course just being warmed up at this point, I was able to take it from, I think it was like 141 or let's say 140. So basically like 10 seconds off of the time, which is a lot better than just like a couple seconds better, which is what I was at least hoping for. So, oh man, that was a lot of fun. Hey, I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And let me know what other kinds of live stream stuff you'd like to see in the future. I'm not sure if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. We shall see. But let me know what kind of stuff you would like to see. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time. And I hope everybody's doing okay and staying safe. And just, remember to stay calm, stay healthy, and just be good to each other. Okay, guys? All right. Wow. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again very soon.